Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to our 13th edition of DIY Cold Storage with the West Virginia Department of Agriculture Homesteading Series. And for the second time, I'm going to try to share my screen now, and then I'm going to pass it over to Jordan, and he's going to go over a few quick and easy ways to fire up cold storage in your operation. So without further ado, let's okay, now can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, a few tidy work here with some slides here, and I'm going to pass it over to Jordan so he can get started on his side of things tonight. Here's our Veterans and Heroes to Agriculture program. You can find us on our website at www.agriculture.wv.gov or send an email, obviously, to vets2ag@wvda.us. Next up, we've got planning coordinators, which is my position. I'm Nathan Bergdoll, by the way. I'm in the Eastern Panhandle in the blue. We've got Kacey Gantzer in the orange and Northern Panhandle, Lacey Davidson in the green in the southwestern part of the state, and Ashley Amos in the purple in the southeastern part of the state. If you are in the shaded area in the central part of the state, do not have a planning coordinator in your region, don't fret, we will cover you. Obviously, you can it'd probably be easiest to call the phone number here at the bottom left-hand portion of the screen, 304-558-2210. That will get you to our office in Charleston, and they can send you to one of us to help with any issues that you may have or resources you need. Here's a little bit about our West Virginia Grown program, the premier branding program in the state of West Virginia for producers. This is one that I'm particularly keen on, and soon to be released is our new West Virginia Grown directory, which will have all of our West Virginia Grown members along with stories, product, photos, family history, contact information, all of that good stuff. So looking forward to that coming out. Contact information here at the bottom. West Virginia Grown at WVDA.us. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to Jordan and let him take the show over. So Jordan, if you're ready, please inform us a little bit about how we fire up a DIY cold storage for ourselves.
All right. Well, thank you, Nathan, and thanks to everybody, Department of Ag, for having me here today. So I'm going to be going back and forth through a lot of screen shares and whatnot. I will say, though, Nathan, if you want to keep your eye out, if you have questions throughout this, please ask them as we're going along, just because sometimes I do forget to point out something. So if I'm going through something and something doesn't make sense, please feel free to reach out. And Nathan, if you can keep an eye on that and just let me know if anybody has any questions there. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to share my screen. Hopefully I don't have the same problem as Nathan did. All right. So can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I know the title of this webinar was supposed to be about cold storage, and yeah, we are going to talk about cold storage, but really what we're going to discuss would be more of like an affordable temperature management system. So you can either go hot or you can go cold, and I'll give you some examples on what I mean by that. So what we mean by open source in the title there via open source hardware. Open source hardware means that it's hardware that's free for anybody to modify, do what they want with. So in terms of technology world things, if we were to look at, let's say, Ford Motor Company, they have patents on probably everything that's underneath the engine of their vehicles. Therefore, you're not really free to go in there and modify certain things. But in the open source world, you are, and you're actually kind of encouraged to. It's this beautiful world of people who just love to share information. So when we talk about temperature management, we'll be talking about two different types. We'll be talking about IoT types. So IoT stands for the Internet of Things, and we'll be talking about non-IoT. So basically, we'll be talking about the types that, for them to operate at all, they have to be connected to the internet, and, ways that you can do them that do not have to be connected to internet. I know a lot of people in West Virginia still don't even have internet access, and I'm sure that those who do probably don't have internet access across their entire farm. So I think the non-IoT one is a great asset to many farmers. And then within IoT, we have both built for purpose types and DIY. And what I mean by built for purpose is, they're built for a purpose. You can buy this device here, this white Sonoff, you can buy that from Amazon today. Whereas some of these you have to do yourself. Typically, IoT ones are more of the ones that are built for purpose, whereas non-IoT ones are the ones you'd have to typically build yourself. So moving forward, both of these have good pros and cons. IoT ones, the easy and the pro things is that it's easy to set up. They typically have built-in alerts, remote monitoring, so you can check in, see what's going on, 24/7. You can set up the alerts to where, if you've got this controlling a freezer or a cooler or something, and it goes out of range, you can get a text message or an email or a phone call or whatever. And this particular model is, in my opinion, very affordable. This thing's $17.99 on Amazon, and I'll show you in a minute how this thing actually works. The cons is that internet is required, and a smartphone or tablet is required for most of these. So when you get one of these IoT devices, typically they'll come with a free app that you need to download from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, and that's the only way that you can interface with them. Typically, there's no way to do it from your computer on like an internet browser or anything. And then again, internet is required. So if you have internet at your house, but you don't have it at your barn where you need this, this might not be the best option for you. And then we go into the non-IoT ones, the pros, that internet's not required, so you can use these anywhere. For this particular model, the temperature is displayed on the screen, whereas the IoT devices, typically there's no display. All of it is through the interface on your smartphone or tablet. But still, this one, in my opinion, is still very affordable. It's $60 all in. That beats most of the competition on the market, which is around $300 or $400. The cons, though, is that there is assembly required, and there is no remote monitoring or alerts since it's not IoT. So some of the ways you can use these, this is the way we use them in our operation. When I first got into a greenhouse operation, I had the options of either getting multiple refrigerators or getting a walk-in cooler. And I wasn't really big on the walk-in cooler idea, mainly because if it went down, I didn't have anything. So I was more into the idea of having multiple refrigerators, so that if one went down, I could just, shuffle everything over to another one. Since then, we've actually gone away from buying refrigerators altogether, and we actually go up to Sam's Club and buy a $150 or $200 chest freezer and plug it into one of these temperature management control boxes. This way we can spread out, our cooling area and have multiple different ranges of temperatures. So in our operation, we grow leafy greens and things that require temperatures around 32. We also grow basil, which requires cold storage of about 45 to 50. So we're able to maintain 45 to 50 in these chest freezers and pack all of our basil into them for storage. The other great thing is that they're compact. So where we actually started with these chest freezers as coolers, 2 years ago, we were driving to Nashville every single week, delivering product to Nashville. And in my opinion, the worst investment you could ever make is a vehicle, just because the second you buy it, it's not worth as much. But there's one thing that's even worse of investment than that, and that is a refrigerated vehicle. The resale value on those is terrible, and it's so hard to find anybody who actually wants one. So what we did was that's where these chest freezers started to come into play. We decided, well, if we just put in a power inverter in our cargo van and pack it with these chest freezers and plug these relay boxes into the inverters in our van, then we've basically got a reefer vehicle that we don't have much in. So, and then why I wanted to call this more temperature management instead of cold storage is because you can do more with it than just cold storage. So what actually started all of this kind of DIY temperature management boxes was we needed germination chambers in our greenhouse operation. And we had bought 2 of the Phytotronics industrial ones, which were about $5,000 a piece. And when I got them into the greenhouse and started looking at them, I realized that there was only a couple components to the entire thing. There was shelves, a hot water tank with the heating element, and a relay system that kicked it on and off based on the temperature. So really with this same type of system, whether it's the IoT or the non-IoT, it can go either cool or hot just based on what you want to plug into it and how you want to set it up. So with this, for instance, we just take Metro racks and we take a water reservoir and we put a float valve on it to make sure that it's always got water in it. And we actually wrap the entire thing up in plastic and put the heating element probe in the reservoir of water and let it go. And it maintains temperature and creates a better germination chamber, honestly, than the $5,000 ones, in my opinion. All right, so with the Sonoff models, so I'm a really big fan of the brand Sonoff. Sonoff came on the market about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, probably, when they started making little smart relay switches for, home use. So like if you had a lamp or something, you could turn it on and off with your phone, smart home stuff. But the beauty was that they were all built off open source hardware and they were really cheap. The problem was they only went up to 10 amps. They were only rated for 10 amps at the time. In the past year or two, they've started making 15 amp models, and that's allowed us to really start utilizing them in the greenhouse. And they're so easy to install. Like literally, you take your wire, and what I would recommend is taking an extension cord, cutting it in half, wiring it up the way it says on the box there, and then all you got to do is download the eLink app that they interface with, and follow the setup directions, and you're good to go. That's all there is to it. You can go on that app, set your temperatures to what you want them to be, and set up alerts and all of that. But I will recommend, though, make sure that the ones you get are 15 amps. We've tried to use the 10 amp ones, and we always burn them up. So do get the 15 amps. And by the way, this whole webinar for me, it's more of one of those things that I just want to run through and allow people to come back and watch it later. which is why we're going to go into the DIY version of it. This can look really, really complicated, but I promise you it's actually really, really easy. And this is why I wanted to, make sure that this gets to YouTube. I'll get Nathan, whoever, the links to where you can purchase all of this stuff, except for the box. The box I 3D printed myself. But all of these parts can all be bought at Amazon. So the computer board that controls it all is called an Arduino. It's $13. You can get the relay that triggers the on and off command for $6. Let's see, the LCD screen's $13. The temperature probe is $9, and some jumper cables and a power cord for $8. And here's the link for the Sonoff. You can see it's only $17.99 from Amazon right now. So, back to my PowerPoint here. All right. So basically, this is your list of parts. This is your wiring diagram, and I want to walk through kind of showing you how to do everything. So on the diagram, we've got our power cable coming in here, connecting to the outlet. We've got a relay right here that's triggering the, that's got the white wire coming power cord to the outlet, our temperature probe, and our LCD screen, and then the Arduino that controls all of it here. So let me get out of this screen share. All right. All right. So this here is the Arduino. And if you go back and you look at the wiring diagram, you'll see all of those like 8s and 12s, the words VIN, ground, all of that are these right here. And then they're also labeled on the sides here as well. So basically on that wiring diagram, all you're doing is you're connecting the wires to these particular spots. So for instance, inside of the relay one here, let me go to this actually. All right, so this is the LCD screen. So on the back of the LCD screen, we've got ground, VCC, SDA, SCL. Not sure what any of that means other than the ground and the VCC. Ground is ground and power is power. The other ones, I don't really know what they mean. And I don't really need to, because all we're going to do is we're going to hook them up according to where the wiring diagram tells you to hook them up to. So ground goes to ground. And then, let's see, I gotta go back to the wiring diagram. SDA goes to A4. So we've got A4 down here and A5 down here as well. So SDA is going to A4, A5, and boom. Now we're done wiring up the LCD screen. And the same thing with all the other components. It's just painting by numbers and going from there with it. So let me just go ahead and hook up these other connections real quick.
Jordan, while you're doing that, got
Yep.
a question from Russ.
Yep.
Says, will these work if I'm boiling something too? I picked up a temperature probe for the maple evaporator when it's about ready.
So Russ, you're wanting the boiler to kick off at a certain temperature?
I was thinking maybe just having it tell me, not actually to do anything, but just to tell me.
Okay. You can. The problem that you might run into there, though,
The right temperature.
the problem you might run into is there's usually a little bit of lag, and that's just because these are analog probes. So basically, you're just picking up a slight difference of frequency between the probe coming to the control board. So if your temperature is rising very quickly and you're trying to get it stopped at a very specific point, that could be a problem. But if you're just wanting to monitor the temperature, yeah, that's the same thing could be done here. Just as long as you have a little bit of variation. And that actually brings me to something I meant to mention with like plugging in a chest freezer into one of these. So like let's say you've got lettuce that you're trying to keep cool, and you want to keep it cool as close to 32 as you want. We don't want to set the temperature to 32 because what's going to happen is the thermometer is not going to be able to keep up quite as quick as the actual cool down. So you want to set that to be at about 38 to 40. And the reason being is, so basically it's going to kick on if it goes above 40 and kick off if it goes below 40. So what typically happens with the freezers is it goes up above 40, kicks off, and then starts cooling down, and it gets down below 40 and it'll kick the relay back off, but that temperature is still dropping because the thermometer hasn't had a chance to catch up with the temperature. So by trial and error with our systems and what we've done in our greenhouse, 38 to 40 works about perfect, and that keeps us from actually freezing anything. All right. So does that answer your question, Russ?
Yes, it does. I've picked up yesterday one of these temperature probes that has a remote control on it.
Okay.
So it's down, working is down there in what I call the honey house, but I'm up in the house nice and warm, and I was going to set it to like 4 degrees before it's ready. That way it gives me 4 degrees warning.
Yep, that's very smart. All right. So once everything is wired up, let's go back to sharing my screen here. All right, so once everything is wired up, we'll need to go to the Arduino IDE software. There is a little bit of programming to do on this, but again, I'm going to promise you it's not difficult. You're actually not programming. If you can copy and paste something on a computer, you can do this programming. Because again, I'm going to send the link to where you can get this data to use. We'll get that to Nathan or whoever so that they can put the link inside of the YouTube video. So basically what you'll need to do is you need to go to arduino.ccc. So if we go to arduino.ccc, again, I'm going to walk you through this step by step. You want to go to software, go down here to downloads, scroll down to download the Arduino IDE. I figure most of you will probably be working on Windows, so it's just this first one here. If you're working on Apple products, you want to click this one. But if we click that one, again, this is all free, but they try to trick you into actually giving them a donation. This right here is actually a button to just download instead of the contribute and download. So we go to just download on that, and that'll download the Arduino IDE. And then like any other program you would download to your computer, you just run the setup wizard. And then once it's all set up and ready to go, you just open up the program. And when you open it up, it'll be kind of blank. But again, we'll get the link put on the YouTube video to where we can just copy and paste all of this information straight into here. There isn't really anything you need to do with any of this, except if you scroll down to line 64 right here, this is where you set your temperature. So if you want your temperature to be 50, you would just erase that, type in 50, and that's all you need to do. One thing that you will need to do if this is the first time you've ever been on Arduino is you'll need to go up here to Sketch and see, hover over Include Library, go to Manage Libraries. And these first 3 orange words here, we would need to type those in so that you can download the libraries to them. So you would go up here in the search bar, type in one wire. You don't need to hit enter or anything, just type it in, it'll come up. And let's see. It'll be the, let's see, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th one down. If this is the first time you've ever done this, where mine says update, yours will say install. And you just click install. And you would do the same thing with the Dallas temperature. And again, it'll be the first one of this one, and you'll just hit install here. And then liquid crystal. You'll need to do the underscore I2C, and it'll be the first one on this one as well. So once you have everything installed and everything's ready to go, your Arduino will come with what looks like a printer cable, and basically that printer cable plugs into the Arduino. You'll see where it goes, and then after that you would plug in your USB cable to your computer, and you'll go up here to tools, scroll down to the board. Yours will look a little bit different just because you won't have as much stuff downloaded as I will. And scroll over here, click Arduino Uno, and then scroll down here to port. And usually it'll say which one's the Arduino. And you just click on that and scroll up here and hit this upload button. And then it'll take about, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds to upload all that data to the Arduino. And it'll say right down here that it is done uploading, and that's when you know you're done. So All right. So we've got it uploaded, we've got it set up, we've got it going, everything's lit up. The LCD screen is shining, and in a second it'll start showing the actual temperature, and the only thing left for you to do is find a box to put it in. So I know that was kind of quick and dirty on how to set up one of those do-it-yourself models, but again, I really just kind of wanted to walk through it to where it's all something on YouTube so that you can go back, get all the links, run through this again, and get it all set up. Because I'll be honest, I've been doing this IoT stuff for probably about 3 years now, and it all started with me the same way it starts with everybody. You find somebody who's got a YouTube video that walks you through it step by step by step. So, and then a couple other things I just wanted to mention about IoT devices in agriculture. Sonoff makes quite a few other good products. This is called the 4-Channel Pro, which is great for if you want to set up automated watering or irrigation inside of a high tunnel, or if you need anything to just toggle on a relay on and off. And then if it's something more powerful that needs something that controls more of a 15 amp, this is actually the only smart outlet I've been able to find on the market that's rated for 15 amps. So what we do at my dad's farms, we've got one of these plugged into his fence charger. So if he's out there working on his electric fence and if he thinks he found the short, he can just pull up his phone and turn this thing off while he's out in the field, fix the short, turn it back on, and just keep on going down the fence line until he fixes all the shorts. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's about all I got, Nathan.
I think I could do that, and I am by no means a tech guy. Half the time I'd like to throw the computer out in the yard, let alone try to step through that. But that was simple, highly informative. Does anyone have any questions for Jordan that they would like to pose? Or do you just want to go start working on setting up your own cold storage or heat for that matter, as Jordan said? That was pretty straightforward and
one thing
dry. I like it.
Yeah, one thing I will say too, I know the company Coolbot does one, and they say to use an air conditioner, I believe, if you want to make your own walk-in cooler. Both these devices we went over today, they can both handle an air conditioner. So if you want to make a walk-in cooler, as long as whatever you're plugging into either of these devices is under 15 amps, you should be fine.
So in total, Jordan, you are talking for chest and all requirements for setup, you're talking approximately how much dollar-wise?
If you wanted to do a chest freezer and convert it into a chest cooler, you'd be looking at really the biggest thing is your chest freezer. I think we get ours at Sam's Club now for like $150, and then all in parts for the do-it-yourself model is about $60. So that means you're in at about $210, and then if you wanted to do the IoT model, you'd be in at about just under $200.
It's unbelievable.
And then, like I said, we started with those chest freezers because we needed to haul product from Morgantown, West Virginia to Nashville, Tennessee, and we put in probably the biggest converter you can put in a car to handle about 4 of those chest freezers. But yeah, we would drive to Nashville every week with those things loaded up. So
nice. And we've got a question from Lacey here that says, are you available for technical assistance, or do you sell any products that are ready to go?
So I am available for technical assistance. I don't know. I mean, I guess we can probably put my contact info on the description for the YouTube video. So yeah, I can help with that. If anybody needs me to just, you know, if you don't feel comfortable like programming the Arduino yourself, I'd be happy to program them and just mail them out to you. We dabble a little bit in the technology and the hardware side, so our company can assist with some of that. Really, what we've been focused on for the last 2 or 3 years, in addition to actually growing product in Morgantown, we've been working on trying to develop a universal farm management IoT-based system, so that if you wanted to use these Sonoffs, if you wanted to build your own, all of these parts could be under one umbrella, and all of them could be hooked up to do different things. So like, let's say you had one of these Sonoff 4 channels. One of the software programs that we help with is we take temperature and humidity beacons, and we can put them in high tunnels or in fields or wherever. And those temperature and humidity beacons will start collecting vapor pressure deficit, so we can actually have automated watering go on with these relay boards at a vapor pressure deficit number. We can also take these and automatically roll up and down sides of high tunnels. So yeah, if anybody ever wants to learn more about possible ways to do IoT, or just even if it's not IoT, but you're just looking for simple solutions for your operations, I'd be happy to talk to you.
And it basically all revolves around becoming more efficient, obviously.
Yeah, becoming more efficient, requiring less manual labor. So.
Absolutely. Anybody else have any questions for Jordan? I know we've thrown a good bit of information, though fairly simple. I'm impressed. I know a little bit about it, but the simplicity of it impresses me. That was quick and easy, and I think a lot more people should probably look into something of this nature, Jordan. So I greatly appreciate it.
Yep.
Anyone else? Russ, appreciate you as well. So again, Jordan, thank you very much. Jordan Masters, Microgenesis in Morgantown. Make sure that we'll get his links and contact information on the slideshow when we release it. And we will send that out hopefully here in the next few days. So we will wrap things up, and we will be doing our next series again in 2 weeks. Same time, Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Jordan, appreciate you again, buddy. Thank you very much.